And we're back. We weren't even here before, but we're back now. It is Levack and Goz. Happy Saturday morning. This is our second show already today because we jumped on to No Credentials Required with Ryan McCarthy, his nephew, and some dude from Atlanta. So that was interesting. I didn't know it was like a 5-person show. I try to avoid those ones, guys, because if you're all in the same room, like when I was running our radio show, I could conduct. You know, I could be like, all right, you go. No, you go. No, you go. You want to go? Okay, you. Where like when you're 5 little like windows on a computer screen, it's like, okay, I'm gonna pause, and then everybody pauses, and then it's like I'm gonna talk, and then everybody talk. Like, but it came out okay. I think we did all right. I think we held our own.
It came out fine. We talked a little baseball. One person of the two of us decided to turn off his microphone and then scrambled and wondered why his mic wasn't working. And then
you were
Ryan
just gone.
Said enough of him.
You were just gone. Well, and like you started by letting us know you're in your parents' bedroom, so like you're potentially like sitting exactly where you were made. So I just assumed you like that hit you and you like I'm out. Like I just realized how weird this is.
I'm in my childhood bedroom. I misspoke. I'm in my bedroom that I slept in for years.
I don't believe you. There isn't a poster of Carmelo Anthony on the wall. There isn't. I'm trying to think who a young guys. What young guys like Brooklyn Decker. There isn't.
Check again. There's a Carmelo Anthony poster.
I imagine there's like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition just stuck between the mattresses.
There are so many people that are so turned on about what is happening now. Wow.
Let's see. How did guys grow up? What is that a little Ali?
I like poster. I had my poster. It. Everything else.
I think everyone's ever been a kid has owned that dresser.
Yeah. Everything else has been taken off the walls. There used to be many of athlete up here, but now it's just blank.
Now it's only the ones your father approved of. Now it's
that's right. That's it. That's all.
But yeah, I'm in my house for the first weekend in forever, so this is kind of nice.
It looks good. The State Broadcaster Awards are there. The Raider logo, the helmets, very Schefter like more and more every weekend.
Well, and I realized I can't wear the championship ring anymore. I can't wear it because when we were in Jacksonville, I had the ring on. More of just because Jacksonville's won 2 NAL championships, and Steven Shatola, who handles all their media and does stuff for the league, he's always giving me a hard time that I only have 1 NAL ring. I tell him I have 2. I have an AFL ring too. You know, you don't have one of those, but so I had to wear it. Well, I was shaking a lot of hands, and the thing is a monster. So I took it off, and I was meeting other people. I put it in my pocket. When I had it on, we were getting smoked. As soon as I put it in my pocket, our guys started going crazy. So I have not put the championship ring on my finger since I think it was like early in the second quarter in Jacksonville or late first quarter.
That's got a lot of coach executive vibes to it. Like last season's in the past. We don't want to think about last season. And all of a sudden, like the football gods have sent you the message of that's right. This is 2022 and feeling it through the game. All right. So you won't see it on Saturday. Go ahead and read that for our audio audience. The first comment.
Of course, we are live on the Techies Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page, Godzilla Media's YouTube, or if you're listening to us later, like we found out, Boston Dan waits like a week and a half. It is everywhere you get it. Everywhere you get a podcast, Apple, Spotify, Watermelon, wherever you listen to them, Seashells. Our buddy Jim from Inside the Walls. Over under the time Goz's internet goes out, I open the line at 3.5. I think you've got the internet under control because it's your parents' internet. So that's right. You personally can't screw up this internet. I think. So I think the internet's safe. I'm just figuring out how this mic is supposed to be set. It's still new to me.
And honestly, I think the acoustics in here is better than my usual studio.
Yeah, I think
great.
You said well as good as you can. But I think like the number of times you'll turn off your own microphone, you'll spill something. Rex will come up and poke you in the eye and tell you he wants like Cocoa Puffs or something. I'll go over the 3.5 if I can include any kind of distraction beyond just the internet.
My parents walk in here or a dog, it will be must see.
Your dad comes in no shirt on. He's like, you see what how old's your dad?
My dad is 63 years old.
You see what 63 looks like if you go CrossFit instead of chicken wings, Levack? That's what he comes in and
we were 30 seconds away from going live. My dad just randomly walks in after his CrossFit workout to let everyone know that he was looking for a shirt, hoping that he'd be on the camera.
Let's be honest. If you looked like your dad without a shirt on, how often would you wear a shirt?
Not often.
Right. Your dad put in the work. He gets to show off the goods. That's what your mom's a lucky woman, even though she won't speak to me. Maybe that makes her lucky. I don't know.
Rather than talking about my parents, let's talk about the bye week for the Empire. What is the schedule? Do you guys go home? I know in like the NFL and other bye weeks, college level, a lot of bye weeks, people just go home to their family and friends and then come back on Tuesday. Is that what the Empire did too?
Yeah. So, well, not everybody. Some of the guys stayed local. Magruder and Grant were getting treatment, so they were local. Like a lot of the guys, yeah, they took off for home. Like I think Darius just straight up went on vacation. Like I think Darius took off for somewhere sunny. I know Hollis went home to the Philly area, stuff like that. But there's no organized team activity for the week of the bye. They get to do what they need to do, whatever. They're welcome at the building. Again, if they need a treatment or whatever, Emily's always working. She's a great trainer. But yeah, they take off. So I know Coach is back in town today. I think everybody starts to filter back in today and tomorrow, and then Monday it's business as usual at the arena.
Saturday, May 21st, the Empire back on the field. It's going to be interesting to follow these storylines for this game because at the college level, again, another comparison here, like most people who are 18, 19, 20, they get that week off. And they're like, we got a week off, man. Like these guys are pros. So the bye week,
well, some are.
They're getting paid to play athletics at a professional.
No, you mean like it's professional? Yeah, no, but some of these guys are cutting it up, no doubt about it. Because I would too if I was them. This has been. Think about this, right? You open the season at home in Albany. Since then, you've been to Jacksonville, you've been to Orlando, and now you get a week off. So we had our training camp, we had all of that. These guys, they've burned the oil a little bit so far. So I think they're going to live it up a little bit. Some of the guys, like I know Brandon Cisse probably spent more time in the gym than he is anywhere else. That guy's like, we were talking to him about like just food and stuff. He's like, well, that's good food, but it's not healthy. So I don't get to have very much. And I'm like, yeah, rookie. But like, so I think you see a mix. Like you see some of our guys out there. Like I said, Darius is probably laying on the beach chilling. Like that's it.
Yeah. For bye weeks, you've heard this take a bunch of times from me before about bye weeks. For me, it's always this way with bye weeks. The pressure on a bye week is not so much on the players, it's on the coaches. Because how do they use that extra week to prepare? Are they watching way more film than usual? Are they scouting more than usual? Do they put maybe unneeded pressure on themselves to have a better game plan than any other week because of the prep? So I'm sure you'll be more than welcome to tell Coach Manas, hey, I talked to Goz, and he said, the pressure's on all you guys this week. So he said, don't even worry about the player. Oh, he's coming in on Tuesday. Goz, what'd you say to Coach about how if they lose, it's all your fault? So, yeah, you can do that to me this week. But it really feels more like a bye week, kind of what you're hitting at here, with guys having their focus off football and coaches still locked in, that they've got a big leg up on their scout reports and everything else.
And also, I mean, like, you don't have to be Nostradamus to, see where our team is clicking on all eight and where, we still got some makeup ground, ahead of us. You see when Marco gets a chance to kick a good football, what happens. And I think you'll see that for a lot of the kickers in the league. So, special teams, we're set. We got Darius returning. We got Mark Orozco kicking. Offense, we're scoring, tons and tons of points. Defense, we're giving up a lot of points right now. We got guys who are still figuring it out and getting it together. And, it's still good. We got great players out there, but with a guy like Kenny Magruder, being hurt last week, that hurts you. He's probably a good 14 points on his own. So we're gonna see. I know that's what Coach has been really focused on in the break. He's been reutilizing these guys in his head, right? So you get a guy like Darius Prince, who now, last week he's our offensive specialist because Antoine Grant didn't travel. Actually hurts your defense because Prince can D up. He can play corner. He can do it. So to lose him, to lose Magruder, all those things in 1 week, you would love to see what this team looks like healthy like that. But who knows when we're going to be completely healthy again? So that's been that's what Coach's mission has been. He's head coach, GM, and defensive coordinator this year.
Back-to-back shows next week from MVP Arena. Tuesday, our usual spot, 4:30 to 6, and then Saturday, pregame show, 3:30 to 5.
Oh, you mean the Gawd show?
Empire pregame show.
The Gawd
Military
show?
Appreciation Day event, all that good stuff going on. Tickets on sale, 12 and under, get in free. All that
12
stuff
and under
on
free. Anybody with military ID free for this game. We're gonna have. I actually was. I was over at Elevation 10K, who does all our screen printing. We're gonna have a special line of shirts and hats for fans this week. You'll only be able to get them in the arena to start. Assuming they'll sell out. They're going to be awesome. Just checked them out the other day. So it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a really fun game, and we're hoping to really do our best to, honor the men and women who have, served this country and continue to serve this country. And, again, we always want to be a family-friendly environment, and that's why Mike Cordes said, you know what, 12 and under, come on in. So it's any paid adult can get up to 2 free kids tickets. And believe it or not, we've already had somebody call and go like, not for me, but how would you know it's a kid's ticket? It's like, well, they say kid on it. They say it. So like when you try, so if your 40-year-old bum ass tries to come in for free with a kid's ticket, we're going to pop you for it. Sorry. I was like, are you like, not only are you dirty and trying to take away from a poor free, like something we're trying to do nice for the kids, you're dumb enough to call me and let me know you're going to do it. Like that's what I mean.
Really short. People think I'm a kid. What is wrong with people? Yeah. I'm sure like with the,
just curious, like, dude, we have tickets that are low as like $20, and hell, if it's that hard for you right now, man, I'll help you out. I'll get you a discount. I'll take care of you. Don't take the kids' tickets.
Don't worry. The next thing that will happen is that guy will complain on Facebook and be like, "Oh, I called them. They said I'm 40. I can't get a kid's ticket." Wow, pretty.
I thought it was under 12 feet. Oh, I'm a kid at heart.
As excited as the season is on the way for the Empire, Maine June, you and I both went to social media today to mention what could be one of the biggest headlines of the summer here in the Capital Region. But before we get to that story, I want to tell you about Lily and David Fine Jewelers. This is the weekend, guys. If you've got time on your schedule, head over to Lily and David Fine Jewelers, Route 50, the shops of Wilton. Get her something nice. I am back in Syracuse right now because my wonderful sister got engaged. It is her fiance, my soon-to-be brother-in-law's birthday today. Happy birthday. Celebrating the dirty 30s today. So hopefully Rob knows what's good for him. He'll go to Lily and David Fine Jewelers and take advantage of the 2-for-1 wedding band sale so my sister doesn't look like a fool. And for anniversaries and birthdays down the line, he will drive out to Wilton, New York and get her something good at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Hopefully he's downstairs and can hear me. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to David. Family owned and operated business.
I still don't think you actually have a sister. I'm just going to put it out there. I think you made. I think Goz wears a wig and runs around pretending to be Gazina, and it doesn't even have a sister. We've never met her. You've never even shown us a picture of her.
She stays off social, which is the younger sister.
She doesn't even exist. It's just.
I said that to Alyssa, by the way, 2 weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, my buddy Jeremiah, we're at Saving Face, and her and my sister are good friends." And I think she looked at me like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a sister."
What's your new brother-in-law's name?
His name's Rob.
So, like, is that why you're yelling about make sure you get the ring from Lily and David because you're actually Gazina and you want to make sure Rob gets you the right ring?
No, I promise.
I love you,
that
Rob.
big bad Bob? He would just take him like an Annie wig the whole time with me. This character. Lily and David Fine Jewelers, located at the shops of Wilton, Route 50. You stop in, tell them you heard about whatever this just was on Levack and Goz.
I just imagine your beautiful wife Jordan watching you leaving the wig, going, "Oh well, there goes Gazina again. Well, at least I get some quiet time. At least I got my ring from Lily and David Fine Jewelers. It's worth it."
My God, that's Kumar Rockers music. My God,
I saw this come down the line from Jeff Passan, and I was like, "No, somebody's." I thought it was going to be like one of those ones that was going to be like Jeff Passion or something. Like it was going to be some right. Fake account, because this is a guy. He's drafted by the Mets. He's got a road to the show. And I just thought it was over because remember the Vanderbilt pitchers was him, and I can't even think of the other guy's name right now. They were the two biggest stories of the draft for a lot of people for Major League Baseball. He doesn't want to pitch for the Mets. He doesn't want to pitch for one of the best teams in baseball with one of the biggest checkbooks. And he goes, "Peace out. I'm going to the Valley Cats. I'm going to Troy. I'm going to go Hudson Valley, Harvard on the Hudson. I'm going to go pitch there." And I think I'm a little mad too because I was talking to Rick Murphy yesterday, the president of the Valley Cats, because we're working on some stuff where like the Empire and the Valley Cats are going to work together, and he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me this. This is I don't think he wanted me to have the scoop. I think he still thought I was going to jump on the radio and tell everybody.
Now hang on a second with Rick Murphy, because maybe he brought this up to you in this conversation yesterday. Because the last time us three, you, me, and Rick spoke was when the Valley Cats changed their affiliation. He called us 90 minutes after it happened. Like that was not even a booked interview. He went live at 3:00 with us and talked about it because that was a big deal. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't know if he was mad at how we did that interview. I thought from that interview, the only thing besides how sad it was, even though they're doing fine without it, was Adam Schinder refusing to give us credit, Schinder, and I had to go complain to him on Twitter about the afternoon show locally. Just say Levack and Goz, Shinder. Anyways, that's what I took away from that interview with Rick.
Well,
but
we don't have to worry about that anymore. We don't have the local show anymore.
Yeah, we do. Shinder, it's Levack and Goz on Godzilla Media, not a local podcast. Anyways, the Valley Cat thing, yeah, you mentioned Rocker, right? And the hype that was around that Vanderbilt pitcher that he was projected to be the number 1 pick in the Major League Baseball draft. Baseball in particular, in comparison to any other sport, it's so bizarre where it's like, yeah, we know he's the best player, but we just don't want to pay him. Yeah, we know he's the best player, but his agent sucks, and we don't want to deal with his agent. Dansby Swanson, who plays for the Braves now, was an example of this years ago. That was it. Like, you mentioned he didn't want to play for the Mets. He wanted more money, and the Mets claimed that there was an issue with his elbow and arm, and that's why they weren't going to pay him what he deserved. And he's like, screw it. I'll just go prove it somewhere else.
But it's like, it's interesting, too, because, like, you will see – like a player willing to take a little less of a signing bonus because you only have a pool. You have a pool of money you're allowed to use on your draft picks. So if you can use less, like Ian Anderson was smart. Ian Anderson took a little bit less money than he probably could have got to go earlier to the Braves. And then he'd be part of this pitching staff that you're seeing start to form in Atlanta. Oh, and, win a World Series last year. So for Rocker to say, no, I want more money. I know the Valley Cats aren't paying him what he was going to get from the Mets. Like, God bless them, they're doing good. I love what they're doing over there, but at the same time, they're not cutting that check. So I want more money, but all right, screw it. I'll just go to Troy. Like, it doesn't compute.
No, he probably says, okay, so let's say he dominates for the Valley Cats. Is that good enough to give him the money he wants? Does he just want to pitch? Because that draft is in 2021. So that's June of 2021. So he's basically a year off, hasn't done anything. And maybe he got hurt, maybe he didn't. Maybe his agent doesn't want to let us know. Hey, just pitching against pros is good enough, I'm sure, for an evaluation. I'm sure. Look, here's a really exciting part if you're a Capital Region sports fan. Those games are going to be packed with MLB scouts. Yeah. Not just MLB scouts, but fans. Like, this is something that I didn't know moving into the area that you've covered before, that in the Capital Region in particular, it's a really big deal when big names take the field on any level. Like, wasn't it Rod Guidry who had like the moment in the old ballpark? I'm blanking on the name of it here. Heritage Park, right? Where like there was a massive crowd. Other markets like Rochester,
Deion Sanders
Deion
time.
Sanders, right?
He came through. Jeter was here for a hot second. Like we've had a couple of guys like just in like rehab starts, Jim Leyritz, stuff like that. Like you've seen the guys come through the area, but that was when you were a Yankee affiliate.
Yes.
And even with the Valley Cats, when they were the Astros affiliate, you got the first look at Roger Clemens' kid, that Beer kid. Like for all the years that the parent club was the Astros, you saw real talent come through, Joe Bruno Stadium. Now that you're an independent league baseball team, people thought that was over. And look at the Valley Cats proving them wrong already.
Yeah. The Valley Cats and just Albany in particular, when it comes to baseball and just in sports in general, like the coolest part about it is you've seen events, Levack, where you've worked with, it's happened this year for the Empire, where you hype up a return, hype up a championship, put the banner out there. When it comes to names, Albany truly does it better than any other upstate New York City. I'm talking Syracuse, Rochester, Ithaca, Buffalo, where if there's a big time player who's taking the field on a Friday night or there's a rehab start, it matters to the Capital Region, and it's really cool to see. So Kumar Rocker, here's what I want to see him have happen. I want to see him throw gas on a Friday night, like 100, 102, just mow dudes down. And then Saturday, be there for the opening coin toss and join us in the booth for the Albany Empire.
Well,
that's what I want to see.
It would be interesting. Like, obviously, this is not just a business decision for Rocker. Like this, there's business to it. You mentioned it. Like, go prove that you're not injured. Basically pick your shot on where you end up and how much you get. Yes, I get all that. But by choosing to go independent rather than work your way through the Mets farm system, and starting your free agency clock, I think you're seeing him say, like, on a personal level, you pissed me off. So like, what if that level of pissed off is grander than we think it is, and he's rocking around the independent league a little while, and they see the kind of ticket sales they need to see, and he starts making real money because he's the draw. I mean, we could see like a reinvention of independent baseball based on how these kind of things go. Like you could see these guys, like I just mentioned, Rick Murphy. Rick Murphy's a hell of a businessman. If he sees that there's a real value in having these guys, why not just keep an eye on who looks disgruntled in the draft and just be like, hey, we're not tampering or nothing, but we over here and we got a little money for you. That's right. And by the way, we got speedy chicken sandwiches.
I love that question. That is going to be one of my maybe my favorite baseball storyline I've ever followed here in the Capital Region. I love that storyline because look, let's use Bryce Harper for an example. Bryce Harper rehabbed. I take that back. Bryce Harper was in Syracuse in April before he got called into the Nationals. Now, if you know who Bryce Harper is, he's a Vegas kid who's always used to warm weather. He shows up to Syracuse and he's freezing. He's got like the Gramatica gear on, right? His whole face is like covered and he had no desire to be there. He's like, I don't want to be here. I want to go to the majors. I have no desire to be in AAA. I'm sure everyone's really nice, but I don't want to be here. Tim Tebow, same thing. Those guys, look, it's purgatory, minor league baseball. You wonder about Kumar Rocker and if he's like, okay, I picked Tri-City, I picked Troy. I want to be here, but I also want to be in the majors and making a ton of money. I'm curious how he interacts with the fans in Albany, in Troy, in the Tri-City and everything else. That is he going to have like, hey, I'm only here to make my money and thanks for guys for putting me out here and promoting me and everything. Or is he going to be like, yo, this is my city. I'm embracing this. These people are here for me. I'm fascinated by how this guy treats this role, whether it's a business trip or whether it's, I want to do something no one's ever done before. And all that stuff of how he walks off the mound, what autographs he gives, what events he does with local businesses, that stuff matters to people. And I'm curious to see if Scott Boras if that's still his agent, which I believe it is, of how he's going to handle that stuff.
Well, it does. It makes me wonder about another thing too. Like we know that clubs like the Valley Cats were caught off guard when they lost their Major League Baseball affiliation. We know that, there are legal ramifications that are still playing out. If bringing in a guy like Rocker and you can prove like nights when he pitches, your till goes up 50, 60, 70%, right? So I then sit down and do the math and say, if I had the MLB talent that I was promised before for 60 plus games or whatever it is, and now we're up 90 because this league has 90. You cost me X amount of dollars. I'm changing the lawsuit because I proved that every night he pitched, every night I had a guy that I should have been able to get based on, the business model that we agreed to. You just, and I can prove now the money you actually cost me, even in like, you can't blame a pandemic. You can't blame everything else because here we are where we are. I wonder if some of those numbers start to skyrocket or those settlements go up just to get things done.
Someone's going to be moving some numbers. For real. Not for real. Yeah. You know what? If he goes and pitches for the Mets again or the Yankees, or maybe that's a fun angle of this, of why did he pick a New York team? Is it, I don't know. Why did he pick the Valley Cats? We'll find out that answer soon, that maybe he's still got an eye on the Mets and the Yankees. They're like, if they're going to pay me the most, maybe I just might be a little closer to their scouts to make that trip a little easier for him. Well,
yeah, I mean, and is he so soiled on the Mets that he'd love to go to a Yankees? You know what I mean? Or is it just, you kind of brought it up, like, you just want to head south because it's cold up here in April. Like, I don't know, but it seems as though the Mets are off the table. I would assume they're not going to draft him again.
We'll find out in June. Could you imagine Steve Cohen just goes full heel? I'll do it again. I'll draft you every year.
I'll burn a pick I don't care if we never win again. I'll pay for free agents. I don't care.
Kid will never pitch in the majors. You hear me? Ever.
It's me, Rocker.
You stay down there. NFL schedule. Levack, it's officially out. But before we break down your reaction to it, all the things the NFL put on, let's talk about Mohawk Honda, our friends. I just made the drive in the 2022 Pilot across upstate New York. No issues at all besides me falling asleep while my wife drove. I don't think that's an issue for her, though. Smooth ride as always.
She appreciates that, I think.
She did.
I don't want to hear any more about wrestling, Thomas. I don't want to hear any more about what you want to talk about, Thomas. We're in the 2022 Pilot, Thomas. There's room for you in the back to sit with Rex and watch the video screen. Watch Bubble Guppies with your son and let me have my quiet time.
That's the best you can ask for in a wonderful vehicle at Mohawk Honda. The space, family
The
time,
captain's chairs. Oh, yeah.
that's right, and more. Stop in this weekend if you want to find out. Schedule an appointment. Brian McKenna, Cam McKenna, check out their schedules. Mohawk Honda, check out their website, all that stuff where you can find out when you can meet with them and all the good things they can do for you. Gas prices are continuing to go up. Don't you want to find a vehicle that can make it a little bit more affordable for you? Yes, of course. And the Kelley Blue Book offer. Wherever you're listening, drive to Glenville, New York. You can drive up within an hour, get money in your pocket and a new vehicle. That's the Kelley Blue Book offer does for you. Wherever you're listening, from Herkimer to Utica to Troy, get over to Glenville, New York. Tell Kumar Rocker you've got a new vehicle that's from Mohawk Honda. Kumar,
He'll end up over there. It'll happen.
That's
It'll
right.
happen.
Mohawk Honda, Glenville, New York, where they always go out of their way to please you.
Did you see what they just did? The Mohawk family? Did you see what they did?
Are you talking about another vacation we weren't invited on from those guys?
No. Business retreat. Business retreat.
Okay.
Yeah, they took everybody to the Sagamore, brought in some like professional speakers and like trained them up a little bit in like a really great environment. It's what good companies do. It's very, very cool what they do. And then they had the Heritage Foundation golf tournament where they raised a bunch of money, and they're just it's very coul to be part of the Mohawk family. Very, very cool. And I love my truck, so it makes it even better.
Did our guy Matt Sames get a hole-in-one again? The last time we talked to Matt Sames, I don't know if it was at that tournament he got the hole-in-one, but I know sure he was out there golfing.
I assume that Matt makes those things up. That's what I'm just going to say.
Makes them
I'm
up.
just go. Yeah, makes it up. I mean, I know he was a hell of a baseball player in college. He was a hell of an athlete, but hole-in-one, come on.
Here's what I want to have.
I want proof. Picture it didn't happen. That's what I'm going with.
We're going to get to the NFL schedule. Here's the thing with Matt Sames. He played at Lemoyne, and there's rumors out there that Lemoyne's going to go D1. I hope if they do go D1, he starts calling himself a D1 athlete. I think that's within the rules. He can do that, right?
I think he already says that. I just think he's like, well, I was a D1 athlete. I may not have played at a D1 school, but I think that's what it is. Dude, I got to tell you what just happened. So, guys, you've been here to the Folly. It's a work in progress. You know, it's an uphill climb. It's an old house that I've been working on. My friend Zach has been working on since I bought it. And I have been home for maybe like cumulatively over the last like 3 weeks. I've been home for like 3 days if you added it all up, because it's like come in, drop whatever I have in my hands, sleep for a couple hours, go back to the office, come in, drop whatever hands, fly off to Jacksonville, come back in, drop it, sleep until, and then whatever. So like my house just looks like an Amazon packing plant, and just everything, like there's just shit everywhere. Like it looks like I exploded in here. So Fitzgerald Handyman Service, by the way. My buddy Zach's doing my bathroom soon. So Tech East is gonna demo my bathroom because I'm afraid what they're gonna find behind the wall. So I want the professional fire and water restoration. I want Jer and everybody in here tearing it down, and then Zach's building back up. So we got our wires crossed. Zach just showed up to like look at everything. He thought I said I was doing the podcast tomorrow. I thought he was coming later today. So I was like, all right, do the podcast. I'll at least push everything into one room. That way, like one room looks like crap. The rest of the house looks great. I just see him walk by and just look at me shaking his head. Like, I fixed this house over and over. There's a hole in the drywall where the dog ran headfirst into it. There's Amazon boxes everywhere. The piece of trim got broken when my kid was moving her stuff out. Like he's just looking at me like, why do I even try? Why do I even help you? Why do I help you?
Wait, so he's at your house right now?
Yeah, he's upstairs. Like I think he's upstairs measuring the bathroom. We're gonna go buy all the fixtures for the bathroom, and I'm gonna store them because there'll be more boxes in my house.
If at some point his work is close to being done before this show ends, bring him on. I want a full scouting report, a recap.
I can do it for you. I can do exactly what he's going to say right now.
Shaking
he's
his
just going to disapprovingly shake his head. And then I'm going to take him to lunch.
Somewhere Sidney Martin's like, all right, here we go.
Well,
get him out of that house.
I will 100% tell Cindy and Zach they need to hang out because Zach will fix whatever needs to be fixed, and then Cindy will sell the house. So, but yeah, so so I'm like sitting here in my shame. Like literally there's bags in every room. Like there's like jackets that were in my truck forever. They're just sitting in the kitchen now because I finally took them out of the truck because it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside. It's just bad. Half of my kids' stuff is everywhere.
Never move the stuff. If you ever sell your house, just leave the stuff.
Just there. This is it. Just drop the price like 10 grand. I'll just drop the price like 10 grand. It's your crap now. Figure it out. I mean, there's a kegerator. It works. It's nice. It's full of beer.
Dude, it's on OnlyFans. People are selling your gear.
You know what my house is? You ever watch those like storage locker wars, whatever? Where
yes.
Like That's my house. Like, there's a lot of great stuff in here, but you're going to wade through a lot of empty boxes to get to it. It's not good. It's not. I don't know why I'm single. I really don't.
The NFL schedule is out. I got a bunch of comments about your Raiders. You know what, Tom Gross? I know we usually save this for the end, but Tom Gross wants to know about your Raiders out of the gates here, Levack. What do you think about the Raiders schedule? Your thoughts on the Chargers being the favorite in the early odds so early before the season even starts? I'm not trying to be mean. Who are you trying to be mean to, Tom? The Chargers?
No, Tom's just a nice guy. He doesn't want to bring up the Chargers or favorite above my Raiders because he doesn't want to hurt my feelings. Look, I gotta be real with you. I still think it's the Chiefs in the West. Like, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! So I don't even put the Raiders number one. Chargers are really, really good, but I'm not as good as the numbers are on Herbert. I'm not sold on him. Like, I'm not as, and I don't want to say I'm not sold on him as a quarterback because I'm 100% sold on him as a quarterback. I'm not sold on him as the guy who's going to put you over the top every time. You know what I mean? I think there's, if Austin Eckler's healthy, if that defense plays the way it's supposed to play, and he's out there able to get them a couple points early, a touchdown, or put them in field goal range, or all those things, then they're going to win a lot of football games. They're going to win a lot. But I think when it comes down, you've seen it. You get to his feet, he starts looking down. So have they fixed that this year? And when you got a head coach that'll go for it on 4th and 15, from the opposing one, like, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, so they got to do more for me to put them ahead of the Chiefs. And I don't know who the Raiders are. So Josh McDaniels takes over. We're going to see something with this Raiders team. Is this the Josh McDaniels that was part of, maintaining the greatness of Tom Brady and the dynasty in New England? Or now that he's out from under Belichick's wing, is this the Denver Broncos, Josh McDaniels? Like, we don't know. And some of the moves are intriguing, or as my guy Ryan, my director of corporate sponsors and partnership in the office, likes to go, interesting. He says it all the time. It's great. I mean, you go and get what's his face, the quarterback, Jared. I can't even think of his freaking name. The one who's going to be the next Tom Brady. Now he's the backup for Vegas. Stidham, yeah, Stidham. And then you trade Brian.
Radio
Edwards.
Host, I just dropped. Nashville radio host. No, not that guy.
We might sign him too. Who knows? But like, Stidham, I like the idea of bringing in a quarterback who knows your system. I love that kind of stuff. But like, Carr's proven he'll pick up your system. Make it work for him. He'll make it work. He's not Tom Brady, but he's from that mold. Like, he's a drop back, get rid of the football kind of guy. That's what he is. He likes to check down a lot, but he'll throw it deep if he has a target. He fancies himself a running quarterback, but he's not. So bringing in another guy like that, kind of like, all right, is that a system thing? Is that a depth thing? All right, I'll wait. I'll see. You are the guy who traded up to draft Tebow. And then Edwards. I thought you saw Brian Edwards starting to come along. He's a legitimate NFL receiver, and you shipped him away for a late round pick. So I'm very curious to see what the Raiders are going to be. I'm hopeful, but I think the Raiders right now are, based on on-field talent, I think they're the second best team in the West. I think the Chargers are right there with them. They're like 2B, but I don't think the Chargers are better than the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm glad Tom brought up some of these odds and what the numbers are looking like and everything else, because a lot of sites have projected the Broncos to be as high as 9.5 to 10 wins. And I'm like, God, like, because of one Jerry Jeudy just got arrested, and I don't know how much of an odd that plays in it, but boy, that's a high number. The Chargers traditionally is a
Jeudy story. I don't understand it all yet. I know there's like a 1-month-old involved and stuff, but my favorite part of it is, like, every Broncos fan, when a Raiders player gets arrested, these just a group of hoodlums, just terrible people, blah, blah. And then, like, their guys start to get popped, and it's like, well, you can't judge an entire team based on the actions of one person. You've got to really, it's an individual, it's a 53-man roster. There's going to be some bad eggs. It's going to happen. But then, like, it's like, what, like, friggin' Josh Jacobs jaywalks. The Raiders, bunch of thugs. Blah, blah. It's like, calm down, idiots.
Yeah, and to add to that, look, hopefully this ages well, this take. Hopefully more information has come out.
I hope it doesn't. It's better when they don't.
There was one take from a few reporters that said Jerry Jeudy was arrested for physical assault, but there wasn't anything physical involved. Huh? Wait. Yeah. You're talking about like making it look better for Bronco players. How can somebody be a physical assault arrest, but actually nothing physical happened? Okay. Let's talk about switching the narrative on that. Yeah.
This is what it sounds like. And this is just complete speculation, just based on what we've been able to see so far. He was held overnight without bond. I think this is the police telling you that it was tempers, emotions flaring, and it was you're going to sleep it off and you're going to calm the F down in this jail cell. And then tomorrow morning, if you speak right and you act right, we're not going to push this much farther. But it sounds as though he maybe was holding the kid, not letting her have the kid to leave with or something like that. Because it's basically, there was no damage done. There was no property broken. There was no physical damage done, but he held something or something. So either her keys and her phone or the baby itself. It sounds like he like almost like in a terrorist way. Like I'm going to do something with this baby. I'm going to leave with this baby. I'm going to hurt them, and you're never going to see this baby again. Something like complete speculation. And then once the police got there and saw the situation, it really feels like it's one of those things where if you promise to get help and calm the F down and we never hear about this kind of stuff again, it's going to go away for you. That's what it kind of feels like, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, and as of this taping, and we're live and everything else, like he's not suspended. It doesn't look like he's going to miss week 1 or anything else. But yeah, the AFC West overall is very fascinating. The New York teams, I saw some numbers early from DraftKings. I saw the Giants win total as high as 7.
Yeah,
I saw the Jets at 5, and I know the Jets are very much improved. The Bills are flirting around the most overall wins and still the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Our madman, I call him at this point, Matt Verderam, because he went through every single game of the NFL schedule, like a sick individual, and had the Bills winning the whole thing over the Bucs. But if you're like a pessimistic Bills fan, you can truly look at those first 7 games on the Bills schedule and be like, I know we're favored in all of them. This is what you're saying as a Bill fan, right? But you could lose all 7. Like they're really tough opponents for the Bills. So I don't know if the New York team's got any favors on their schedules besides the Giants, who, for whatever reason, DraftKings loves. But yeah, New York teams are a little bit all over the place after the schedule release.
So the Rams actually end up with the hardest schedule based on last year, right? I feel like the Bills are the team you don't want to see, though. I really do. I feel like it makes sense for you to look at them and go, hey, when you're going, your Rams, Titans, Dolphins, Ravens, whatever. If I'm any of those other teams, like, really, I got to play the Bills in the first 5 weeks? It's not angling you. You're safe.
Oh, Zach, hey, what's up, man?
Everybody wants you to jump on camera and tell me what a slob I am because my house looks like it's just been throwing boxes in it for 2 weeks.
Stop telling lies.
He said, "Stop telling lies."
No, I get what you're saying. Like the Bills are such a good team, and maybe this is just what's happened with so many moves. It seems like the last 20 months in the NFL, it feels way harder than ever before. The statement you said is like the Rams have the toughest schedule. It seems so much more difficult to do that stuff now because in the past you used to be able to do this. Hey, like these 3 teams' defenses suck. Right. Like, hey, these teams can't play defense, so these are going to be good matchups for offensive teams. So many teams have added offensive weapons the last year and a half. Yeah. You're like, damn, everybody's offense is so good. I don't even know.
And coaching staffs and everything has changed. Yeah. I don't know because like all right, so the Lions were a dumpster fire last year, but you saw them respond to the Danimal, Dan Campbell. You saw them like respond to him as crazy as he is. I can't wait for Hard Knocks. You saw them react. So like as they get better talent, they're a team that's gonna jump up and snake some people. So like they should be an easy beat, right? The Commanders, that defense, if it plays the way it's supposed to play, I mean they're gonna lose a lot of close games. Carson Wentz doesn't do anything for me, but like it's. I don't know what any team like the Raiders' trajectory told you they were going to be a good team this year because they were able to weather the storm of so many crappy things. Completely new front office, and they changed a bunch of their talent. Denver, they go get Russell Wilson. They were a quarterback away last year. Just on and on and on. You look through, you're right. Every one of these teams looks completely different to me. I think the Jets are going to be better than people think. I might snake the over on the Jets. I think big game Bob Saleh is going to get it done.
Big game Bob Saleh. Ryan McCarthy, who we just hopped on and talked to, the Jets have the weirdest schedule with all 4 AFC Central teams in the first 4 weeks. Now, hang on a second, Ryan McCarthy. Nice try with the throwback NFL reference for AFC Central. AFC North, AFC South, AFC East, AFC West. The AFC Central no longer exists.
Ryan's the oldest guy younger than me I've ever met. Like Ryan's considerably younger than me and just older than me all at the same time. It's very odd. So he probably still thinks it's the Central.
The Big Eight's coming back in college football for Ryan.
Yeah, he loves it. It's all about.
Why don't they just declare a national champion like they used to and get rid of that wild card in baseball?
And you want to stop all these penalties? Leather helmets, no face mask. Watch everything go the way it's supposed to. Make it a man sport again.
There's so many people, fans of the AFC Central. Jags owned the AFC Central.
It's not a lie.
Yeah, look, I think
that's how you know. Tell me you're a Jags fan without telling me you're a Jags fan. The Central was a good division. That's what it was.
Look, here's the other things about the NFL schedule too. Yeah, that's right, Jacksonville. Somewhere Derek Brown, our pal, is very happy about that conversation about his teams. 3 games on Christmas Day. Week 12, which is Thanksgiving week, has no buys for any team. So if you're looking forward to watching your team on that Thanksgiving week, Thursday, Friday, or Sunday, no buys that week. So Thanksgiving's packed. Christmas is packed. If you're a fantasy football player, you can complain again this year that the week 14, which is arguably the most important week for fantasy football players, that week before the playoffs, 6 teams are on a bye. So everyone yell and scream at Goodell if you want to. But besides all that, the extended playoff and everything else, I'm looking forward to football already. Now that the schedule's out, now that you know the game is,
Like that's you. This is why you're looking forward to football. You were looking forward to football anyway. Like you already were. We didn't change anything. Good. I'm looking forward to football. We changed everything. Good. I'm looking forward to football. You were already looking forward to football. Like don't pretend it's a new thing.
I wish I could have came out here with a hot take. You know what? I hate where they're playing the Panthers week 7, the Bucks. I'm out for the whole season. I'm not doing. How dare you disrespect Santa Claus and have 3 games on Christmas, Raj?
Ryan McCarthy. We also need to reincorporate hand checking in the NBA. Too much offense and get off my lawn.
You know what, Raj?
I hope Jim Miller, he's 4 years in a row, AFC Central, 3 titles and a wild card. Yep. All right. Enjoy the past.
You know what, Ryan McCarthy? I'm glad you mentioned basketball. I know you're a bigger hockey guy than basketball, but I have a take that might blow Levack's brain here on a Saturday morning. And it involves his New York Knicks in the NBA playoffs. But before I get to that, Jared Lozier, Northeastern Insurance, saving you some cash in 2022. We've been talking about this in the podcast. How can you save some money, whether it's your DraftKings bets, maybe not doing well as you hoped, maybe it's those long road trips coming up in the spring and the summer, groceries get more expensive. At the end of the year, don't you want to just find out, okay, I didn't overspend on the policies that matter to me, my car, my small business, my home. Work with our guy, Jared Lozier, 518-956-3753. 518-956-3753. Jared will help you out, just like you did to me earlier this week, where I got something in the mail that I was ready to give someone money to, and everything was highlighted and said, you should send me money. And then I took a picture and said, Jared, I think this is a scam. And he said, guys, shred that immediately and do not send them money. That's the advice you can get from Jared Lozier. If you think you get scam in the mail, then he will make sure you don't lose your money. Again, his email, jaredl@nemail.com. Jared Lozier.
I imagine scammers fight over your information. Like, no, I get to call him today. No, I do. No, he's the big goofy one with the broad shoulder. Yeah, I want to call him.
Do you think Jared feels like Superman saving me from these scams? Like, I got another. Goz is going to go down, and I saved him. Don't you worry.
Let's just say that Jared has a healthy self-opinion. How's that? I think if Jared opens a jar of pickles, he's like, save the day. Look at me.
I would love for someone to save money and then have the pickles and then have a beer with Jared Lozier. 956-3753, JAREDL
What do these people do to you? You want them to hang out with Jared?
Yes, and to save money. 1 email, 1 text, a free quote on the way. Eat pickles with Jared Lozier.
John Franz wants to know if it was my insurance company. And no, I spell my name backwards when I send him stuff, John, and he falls for it every time. Sadly, he has no money left, so I don't bother him anymore.
Damn crypto.
Yeah. The three games on Christmas. I know you mentioned that kind of briefly in passing. I really don't do anything on Christmas anymore because my kid's 18 and the rest of my family doesn't like me, so it's perfect. She'll be 19 this year. So yeah, I'll watch that all day, and then if people breeze through or I go somewhere, I'm good to go. It gives me something to bet on. The old Santa Vegas will take care of me that day.
I want you to have like really vicious tweets on Christmas this year. Like if your bets aren't going the right way, just like really violent and vile.
I'll just sit here in a Santa suit, just writing terrible things, chugging a bottle of Jack, just doing a lot. I'll do a live show the entire day. I'll just leave it like a live viewing,
live stream.
Just me, just burping, farting, and yelling at the TV.
What do you mean that's not a first down?
How great would it have been if I had a camera on when the Raiders beat the Browns, and I put my hand through my my light fixture? How great would it have been if people to see that? It's like just shards of glass hanging out of my hand.
TikTok, millions of views, just kids rolling it over and over and over again.
Fat idiot punches antique light fixture that he probably could have sold for a couple $100. Now it's garbage.
I've got this theory it's going to make you feel better, Levack, about what might happen for your Christmas this year, because maybe the Knicks will be playing on Christmas too while it's happening. I now declare the New York Knicks are the winners of this year's NBA playoffs. Even though they haven't played a single game in the playoffs.
I'm listening.
Let me spit this at you as a Knicks fan that you are. James Harden is fat and stinks. All right. I don't know how he smells, but I'm sure he's not very well washed because of how bad he played. So James Harden.
Remember the Family Guy episode where Peter grew a beard and birds lived in it?
Yeah.
I imagine birds live in James Harden's beard. I imagine that it's a very nice little sanctuary for birds. It's an aviary, I believe.
He was so bad, whether or not it had birds in his beard or not, that I didn't want to make fun of him because I'm like, is he okay? Like, it was one of those like, dude, I think something's wrong with him. Kyrie Irving may not go back to Brooklyn. Sean Marks basically said, I want people who want to be here.
I want people who are going to be here, not that chud. He's a chud.
Zion never plays this season. John Wall never plays this season. I think we're starting to notice a trend. 4 of those guys were all rumored at one point to be a New York Knicks player, and none of them are New York Knicks. So Levack, now watching what's happening with Harden and Kyrie and Zion and John Wall, even though the Knicks didn't get back to the playoffs, this could have been a hell of a lot worse for the Knicks fans.
I was just going to say, like, you become it could be worse guy. That's who you've become. You become the guy. It's like, you get in a car accident, and there's like blood coming down your eye and everything, and some old dude walks up. Could be worse. Yeah, you could have went through that windshield. It's like, yeah, but I'm bleeding. Leave me alone. Like, as a Knicks fan, like, could be worse. It could be worse. Like, it really can't be worse to be a Knicks fan, because you know what's you say all that, like, this guy could have been a Knick, that guy could have been a Knick, that one. Like, all I'm hearing is, this guy turned down the Knicks. This guy thought he was too good for the Knicks. This guy didn't want to be a Knick, because nobody wants to play for the freaking Knicks, even though we have a better environment than a lot of people. We had a good year a year ago. You actually had lazy players admitting it was lazy players' faults. Like, when does that ever happen in the NBA? And still, no one wants to play for the freaking blue and orange.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
I
could be worse. I could be in my parents' bedroom doing a podcast.
That's right. I'm watching my kid run around and hit sticks, and I'm like, oh, that could have been an eye. That could have been worse. Yeah, that's my new theory on life. Nobody's dead yet. That's good. No, look, I don't even know if the Knicks need to be aggressive in free agency again. Like Kawhi Leonard, another one. He didn't play this year. I don't even know what the hell's wrong with Kawhi Leonard.
You're not trying to make an argument that the Knicks could win as constructed.
No.
Yeah, no, they have to be aggressive. Because I don't even know who you draft that turns this around. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Like who's it's not like one of those years where you have a Zion or somebody coming out where you're like, all right, if we get so-and-so, right? I mean, maybe there is, maybe a nerd like you knows, but I don't.
No, and it's not there too. And those teams that are still left in the playoffs too, right? Like, oh, just get like a Luka. No, like that's once in like a lifetime, and he's arguably a top 3 player. Oh, get a Giannis. Okay, like,
yeah,
you've got to get.
His nickname is Freak, right? Like that means that they don't happen a lot.
You've got to get so fortunate to have this happen, or construct some type of like. You just got to. Okay, remember the Nets and the Celtics? I think somebody just left a comment about this too. Like they got Tatum and Jaylen Brown in back-to-back drafts because the Nets had that wild trade with Garnett and Allen, and it benefited Boston forever. So having 2 stars like that, and eventually they'll have to figure out how you're going to pay both of them. But that worked out for Boston. You've been able to piece these things together. It's just, I look at some of these franchises who thought they got it right. Philly, Brooklyn, the Clippers. And man, I know quarterbacks in the NFL that if you get it wrong, it can derail your franchise for a long time. If you get it wrong in the NBA, and your guy's not playing and he's hurt and he wants more money and his team sucks around the environment, boy, that might even have more of an impact than anything else in professional sports if a superstar doesn't want to play well or hell doesn't even want to play. The Knicks have not had to deal with that yet. I guess the closest is Melo, but Melo like at least was out there and they just weren't good.
Melo didn't want 4 other players on the court. Melo just wanted, I mean, they were allowed to stay down on defense. If they had just played half court and he was allowed to go wherever he wanted and just shoot, like if every shot went through Melo, he would have been very happy. Very happy.
For our audio audience, I turned my camera and it's just a picture of Melo as a poster in my room right now as Levack rips him. How dare you?
A framed poster, no less. Tell me, like, how many nights did you just go to sleep clutching that? Like, just like, I love you. I don't care who does it, Melo. You're the best.
I hate the Knicks. You hear me? I hate
the New York Post is garbage. It's not fit to line a birdcage. They don't get you.
Mark Berman banned from the show. And that other Phil Jackson kiss ass, whoever that guy was, he's been banned. Yeah, so there you go. Knicks
you would
fans.
take Berman's call in 15 seconds or less. You love Mark Berman.
I'd edit it and I'd edit the Melo stuff out. Besides that, I tell you what, I do like him very much. He's very good.
Plus, you get to talk tennis with him. I mean, come on, he's a double threat right there, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Luka, by the way, Phoenix might be done. Phoenix is supposed to win this whole thing. Phoenix, Chris Paul turned into an old man overnight. He's playing the worst basketball of his career. Like these guys are falling off. Luka's been great. The Phoenix overall, that's actually been a great game. It's back and forth there. Golden State, Memphis. Memphis is playing way better. They had a big win the other night. Yeah. You know what? We just stumbled upon something here with Memphis. Memphis is like 22-6 without Ja Morant. They're really good without Ja Morant. Maybe he's the new New York target. Imagine Ja Morant in New York.
I honestly think Ja Morant has, like, because I've listened to people like they're afraid to say, like Anita Marks just the other day, I heard her say, like, I don't want to be the one to say it. And like you almost like that thing, like when somebody's about to tell like a racist joke where they look over both shoulders, like she goes, but is Memphis actually better without Ja Morant? Like she did all quiet and then she got away from the microphone. Like I think Ja Morant's so much fun to watch, even his teammates watch him. I think that's what it is. I think we need to find people who aren't like Ja Morant's doing like these like Space Jam dunks and stuff. And I think even his teammates stop like and have popcorn. Like just like you need to find 4 to 6 people who are so just ready to win that even while Ja Morant's going crazy, doing nutty stuff, they're like, okay, time to get back on defense. Like not watching with their jaw on the floor.
Yeah, and he's not Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has that sort of stuff like that, but it seems like they're 2 different players right now. So
sorry,
there you go.
Russell Westbrook. Please get it right. Please, legally changed.
There's your new target, New York fans. I hope Memphis loses, and then they blame it on Ja, and Ja gets pissed and he goes to New York. The end.
Again, who says he's coming? Nobody wants to come. Nobody's coming through that door, Knicks fan. Nobody's coming through that door. Just coach up RJ Barrett and hope. That's all there is to it. It's sad. It hurts me. It hurts my feelings. It does.
I kind of want to do this. I have another banner here. I kind of like this question from Corey. I want to toss this up on here. You see this question from Corey in Greenwich?
This 3-paragraph question that Corey wrote. By the way, make sure you're watching the show live at Techies Fire and Water Restoration's Facebook page, Godzilla Media's YouTube, and then you can listen to us everywhere you get your podcasts, including from a gentleman named Stan who holds up a sign on the corner of Wolf and Central.
Should probably save this for Q&A at the end of the day, but I like this, Corey. So good for you. You jumped the line. With all the big sporting events that you know of, what's on your bucket list to go to someday? I know you guys being big sports. We'll skip over that other words. Yeah. Guys, you've come like Augusta, Final Four, World Series, World Cup, college football playoff. Someday I want to go to the Final Four. Levack, I'm cutting you on this. I want to start with this because I want to stop with Corey on this last one. No, you do not want to go to the Final Four. I can confidently tell you, Corey, you will not enjoy the Final Four. The Final Four is a bad viewing experience for fans. Really? It is it's a football stadium for a basketball game. So if you get like let's call it like the 400 level seats, you can't see anything. You can't see anything.
What if you weren't cheap? What if you you actually spent a little bit of money?
If you can get good seats to the Final Four, it still feels like you're way away from the court. It looks cool on TV. Final Four is way down.
What about a Sweet 16 or something like that?
Yes.
Would you go back farther? Because I like the idea of going to multiple games in a couple days, like staying there and making it a full event. Like that's the sales pitch for me on that. But also, like I'm not as big a basketball fan as I am football or baseball. But I would want to go to Final Four and find out if you were right.
If you gave me Albany 2023, that's hosting the first and second round, so the round of 64, round of 32, or you gave me like, I don't know, Detroit, I guess I'll use. Or if you give me like Detroit for the Final Four, I would take the first two rounds every single time, and the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight over the Final Four. So Corey,
what's your event?
I have two events I would like to go to. I would like to go to see LeBron James play in person at some point. That's number one on my bucket list. Like, even though he's old man LeBron now, like, I'd still want to see. I didn't get to see Jordan play in person, so I'd like to see LeBron play in person. For a long time, it was the Derby and an SEC tailgate. I got to do both of those. That was really cool. I want to do a big Vegas fight.
Okay.
Whether it's boxing, whether it's UFC, there's something really cool about fight night that if I was at a big boxing or UFC event in Vegas, I would like to have that as number two. Fighter can be changed for whoever, but that's my top two. It'd be Vegas fight night at 2, and then LeBron in person for an event 1.
I wouldn't mind a deciding World Series game, which, I mean, you know, like, so if it was like a 7th game at Yankee Stadium, that would be gigantic. I'd love that. I don't know. I gotta tell you, I really enjoy the Phoenix Open. Like, I was there, but
you've done it before.
Yeah, but I didn't have a spot on the 16th hole. Like, if I could be in Thunderdome, if I could be in those raised stands with beers, like each one of these things, like, maybe it's because I'm becoming a grumpy old man. Like, I've got a reason why I want to do each one, and I have a reason why I don't want to do each one. The same exact thing. Like with the Phoenix Open, the ability to get a beer is limited because there's so many people and it's so freaking hot because you're in the desert. So if I was guaranteed VIP treatment, I'm in. Let's go. Even the World Series, like, you know, Yankee Stadium is crazy in a normal game. Something like that, like, getting in and out of there, that's a Yankee Trails trip for me. Like, if you can guarantee me transportation, I'm in. But like, I love the Super Bowl. I would love to do the Super Bowl as a fan. So I would love to do Radio Row, all the stuff that we do on Radio Row, because I love that. That was always fun. But then the second we get to the stadium for the game, I'm a fan. No more. Just don't even. If somebody wants to put a microphone or a camera on me, fine. But I'm not. You just know that you're not getting professionalism. You're getting whatever the hell I felt like saying at that exact second, because I'm going to forget you're there.
Yeah, those are two really good ones. That World Series one, especially New York and the Bronx, every pitch, the crowd's so into it. Every at bat, you're waiting to build to that moment. That's so good.
Well, actually, I'm like watching all these ones come through now. Like our boy Jim, College World Series, 2 weeks of the best college baseball. That sounds. I don't know if I could do College World Series. It would really depend who was in it, I think, for me.
I feel like the College World Series, there's got to be a moment where like they get over the top. When baseball was locked out a couple months ago, I thought, you know what? Maybe this is the year that like college baseball really shines or talks about more in that conversation at ESPN, because there's some clips of college baseball that go viral once in a while every year. There's this clip of some kid from Arkansas. I don't know if you saw this, Levack. It's like 15 years old, where he faked getting hit by the ball, and then the umpire saw it, and then he struck out on the next pitch and just went absolutely ballistic. It's got like a 1.5 million. So I feel like at one point college baseball should get over the top and be talked about more, but I don't know if that's on my list.
I know where I want to go. The Little League World Series.
Oh,
just maybe you see Big Al hit dingers, and you go MILF hunting in the bars after last call for the kids. After the kids are in bed and all the MILFs are out in the bars, that's the place to be. That's it. You watch some fun baseball, some kids, eat a snow cone or two, hit the bars at, bedtime's 9 for the kids. You hit the bars at 9:15. All the MILFs are out there running wild.
International MILFs too from around
international
the world.
MILFs. I didn't even think of international MILFs. What's up? All right, where are we going? Come on, this is a Godzilla media trip.
Ryan McCarthy said he'd say WrestleMania.
God changes the subject. You're such a Godzina would go.
My poor mom and dad are downstairs. How dare you?
Your dad knows it's a good idea.
He just wrote the Rugby World Cup on here. The Rugby World Cup, Ryan. No, I didn't even. If that's a fake event, you just fooled me. So I would say no to those. But also WrestleMania and SummerSlam are both pretty cool ideas. I think WrestleMania once on the list.
No, like you know how like I'm saying the Little League World Series, so you can go MILF hunting. Like WrestleMania and SummerSlam is the complete opposite. Like the second those nerds start rolling out of their parents' basement and into those arenas, it's just like it's like a desert wasteland. Like vaginas dry up and leave town. It's just a whole like tumbleweeds, just right out. Like no good, no thank you.
You know, someone's probably going to criticize me and be like, oh, Goss said no to the Final Four because he's watching something on a small surface in a stadium. That's exactly what WrestleMania is. But there's more pomp and circumstance and more like
and you're a bigger nerd.
Stuff.
You're a nerd. You can say it.
I would. No,
you're a wrestling nerd.
I'm telling you, that Goldberg moment earlier this week was awesome. I was so jacked up having my son watch Goldberg's entrance. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, man, I showed this to my wife. She's like, what is happening? She despises it.
Well, tell her the good news. The good. How old is Rex right now?
He's gonna be 2 in June.
2 in June. Okay, so if you just pushed his virginity back, it's even going farther now. So he has no like every time he has that great moment of watching pro wrestling with you, he gets his manhood moment goes another year or 2 back. So you're good. Don't worry about it. It's a smart move for you right now.
His pickup line for the girls at the park is dinosaur. So,
that works though. That's what's up. I mean, come on. Corey, what about rodeo championship? I think it's sneaky. You want to say no to that off the top? That's a sneaky good one. I guarantee you want to go drink beer and have a blast with a bunch of crazy freaking people, you go to a rodeo championship.
There's a chance the podcast audience doesn't know about your experience in rodeo.
That's a chance. I don't remember my experience in rodeo. That was a concussion, whiplash, and 2 cracked ribs. That was not a great time for me. That was not fun. I can always say I did it from now on. Yeah, Double M. I went up there thinking I was hosting an event for the country radio station, 107.7 GNA there, and I got there and they go, oh, you can't ride a bull in sneakers. And I'm like, good. I don't intend to. Next thing you know, they're dressing me up in a nice shirt, putting a hat on me, walking me out. They put me in the back. They go, all right, you're gonna ride a bull named Shovelhead. Okay. Now the cool thing about Shovel, and they're like right in my eyes. The cool thing about Shovelhead is Shovelhead only goes up and down. Right? Shovelhead doesn't go side to side. So you don't have to worry about that. You just hold on and ride. I'm like, now they're pumping me up. I'm like, I'm going to ride a freaking bull. I'm going to do this. Let's go. Yeah. Get in the chute. And they go, he's going to try and intimidate you by leaning on your leg against the cage. It won't be long, but let us know if he hurts you. I'm like, wait, what? And sure enough, like you're in there and it's like a metal, like it's a fenced in area. It's about the size of the bull. I'm sitting on it. He leans into the thing on my leg. I'm like, ow, okay, not too bad, but bad. They're like, you hold on and you just go. There's a mud puddle, I don't know, 15, 20 feet from the chute. I'm like, if I fall off past that mud puddle, I win because I'm not in the mud puddle. Sure enough, he goes out. He's up and down. We get past the mud puddle. That son of a bitch goes side to side the way he said he would never do. And it was like a cartoon. There's a video out there somewhere. I'm in midair for like a second, like, oh, he's gone. And I hit the ground like a ton of bricks. His rear foot misses my head by centimeters. Like he almost brains me on his way back down. And then I get up and I run into the chute. And there's all the cowboys and everybody going, you know he's gonna come back in here, right? So I climb out, and then the rest is kind of fuzzy until I was sitting down eating a steak with my kid like an hour later.
You can come back out of retirement. You heard it right there, Corey. There you go, the rodeo championship.
I'll go to. I don't want to compete in it. I'll go, Corey. If you're paying, I'll go. Oh,
all right, Corey. You heard it right there. Speaking about animals, how about Rich Strike, that coward, not running into Preakness? Come on, Rich Strike, get out there, you coward, and run.
Dude, you were never gonna bet him anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, and plus he's a claiming horse who won the freaking Derby at 80-1. Like, I don't know anyone who bet him, but if you did, God bless you.
I just don't like the constant BS of the bullshit of the owners. They're like, he just wasn't ready for the Preakness. Our plans all along were to run in the Belmont. No, they weren't. Like, your horse is gonna get beat, and just own it. Like, hey,
that probably legitimately was their plan though, because there's no way their plan was to win the Derby. So they probably did think we'll be one of those horses that he'll get the experience with him in the big stage. We'll run him. We'll see how he does, and then we'll bring him back. We'll bring him back for the Belmont and take a shot at it again. Like that probably was the plan, because there's no one thought he was going to win that race.
I know some people love horse racing, some people don't, just do it casually for the Derby. I had this great theory, just like the Knicks. I have another amazing theory that I've thought in my own head that maybe makes no sense. Isn't this the best thing for horse racing? like to have an 80-1
Mhm.
shot run in more races, because the whole Triple Crown storyline dominated horse racing for like 40 years. Like, who's going to be the one? Who's going to be the one? Who's going to break through? And finally, when American Pharoah did it, it was like, wow, like people waited since the late 70s to see a horse win the Triple Crown. And then Justified did it 3 years later. It's like, besides me potentially winning a lot of money on the race, give me a storyline. Give me something here. And when you see an 80-1 shot win, and now they can play that underdog thing up for like, can he do it again? Will people bet him? Do they care? Like, that's the whole storyline of the Preakness. Even though the Triple Crown's great, the idea that even like the casual wagers, there might be more people wagering on sports than ever legally in the history of New York, that could have got a fan turned on to horse racing forever when they saw the payouts and they're like, wait, did that say $300,000? It would have been so much better for the sport of horse racing. Now, I said all that, but maybe it goes back to what we just said. The owners don't care. Like, the owners are like, we got our money. We don't want to run them, and we want to try to make more money for the future. So I guess I'm more sad that it would have been so much better for the sport. Maybe not so much for my wallet, but for the sport.
I always used to put at least $2 on the longest shot on the board. So I'm a little bummed I didn't do it. But, I think what happened is I thought I understood horse racing all of a sudden and didn't want to make those kind of bets anymore. And turns out I just don't. I'm still as dumb as I ever was when it comes to horse racing.
It's everybody. Nobody had it. All right. Nobody had that. How about this? Maybe credit where credit's due to ESPN. There's a bunch of game sevens in the NHL. We don't have to break down the game sevens. There's a bunch of stuff. But how about this? There was no basketball on today because what ESPN thought about doing was this. They said, you know what? If hockey gets to their most important games, there are new partners or renewed partners, however you want to phrase that, that if in the first round of the playoffs, if we get a bunch of games on a game 7, we're going to give the whole night to the NHL. And that's what tonight is. Tonight is an NHL Saturday. What do you make of ESPN's move working in their favor of, hey, if this works out, we're pushing all the NBA games off and we're going to give our new partner a Saturday night prime time with all the most important games?
I think it was very smart of ESPN, but I think it's going to be hysterical when the ratings suck and all hockey fans have to admit that no one, including themselves, cares about hockey. I think it's going to be great. Like if the Rangers, like I'll watch the Rangers, obviously. I'm a Rangers fan, like, ancillary Ranger fan. But like when the ratings suck and it's like, this is the greatest culmination of hockey on TV in years and blah, blah, blah. And the ratings are like, then all hockey fans are like, well, it's because you guys like, what were you doing Saturday night? Nothing. You were cooking out. You didn't go inside, did you? No. Yeah. So shut up. You don't even care about your sport.
That's right. And you know what? The worst part with the Rangers, they get pushed them to Sunday. You got Boston and New York on Sunday. And it's like, dude, if you're going to do this whole Saturday night theory we talked about, then why don't you give them the primetime game and everything? This is what you put on. You put on Bruins Hurricanes today, Lightning Maple Leafs, and Kings Oilers. It's like, switch it around then. You're not even doing it the right way.
I think there's a promo on the Canadian teams on DraftKings, by the way. I'll bet that even not even watch the damn games, just so we're clear. I'll put like $5 on that promo and just not even watch.
And you know what? That's exactly what ESPN.
Oh, Canada, 25% profit boost. There you go. I'm gonna do that right now.
Sees its highest ratings for hockey in the last 18 years with Saturday's action. You didn't have the games. We had set a new streaming record for the season for most people watching. Yeah, because it's game 7. You know who the king of this was?
The streaming part is too. Like, well, I could have streamed them before you had them, and they didn't watch them then either.
Mike Francesa was the king of that, right? Where like when the ratings would come out, they just change it. Like that's an old radio and television thing. Like if you have to start adding reasons to why your ratings are the way they are, you actually lost. That might be the answer on Sunday or Monday.
I was watching, but I was sleeping. And then
I miss Mike. I'm going to see him at Saratoga. I miss him.
Oh, he'll be there. He's probably already there. He's probably just waiting. He's just there hanging out, waiting.
He had a horse that almost won the Derby, and he didn't even run in the Derby. He got beat, got hurt.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything, so it's fine with me.
You ready to do some Q&A to end the day?
Yeah, let's get this over. I mean, yeah, sure. I'm excited.
There's one in here. There's one in here from Jim that mentioned the. Here we go. Sacramento in the 2000s, Oklahoma City in the 2010s, Denver now. Talking about teams I believe that should have lived up to their expectations that weren't good enough. Yeah, there's always like teams that have that happen. Maybe more so in the NBA than any other sport that like, oh my God, look how talented this team is. They're the best. And they get like no championships or one. I feel,
but it's like, Denver feels worse than them because like they all had like a super nemesis. like Denver could step up right now. It's old LeBron, it's whatever. Like, OKC had LeBron. Sacramento was at the end of Jordan. I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
Man, that's got to be so Wizards Jordan.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was? I'm trying to remember who was but like it felt like everybody had beasts. Like
Utah?
the Lakers in Utah and stuff were in that. Like right now, there's no dominant team. There's nobody that you look at and go, like the Bucks could have been. They're not. Boston's really good, but nobody's there. Like there hasn't been the guy to grab the mantle from LeBron yet. So Denver might be worse if they don't get it done because they don't have that massive roadblock like everybody else had.
No, that's absolutely true. All that stuff makes.
I know it's true. I said it, guys. I'm smart.
This is a bizarre one from Instagram. A direct message on Instagram. I don't know why people like leaving us direct messages. Stop doing that. Just put it out in public. No one's gonna judge you. Do you find basketball Instagram clips your favorite to watch?
Huh?
I don't know. I think he means like, are you like dunks in three? This is from Steven as a direct message on Instagram. Are NBA Instagram clips your favorite to watch?
No. UFC knockouts.
Yes.
Favorite clips.
All right. We thought the same thing.
Yeah,
That's the best.
Yeah, they're the best because you get the slow motion. You get like dudes' heads just turning into jelly as they fly backwards. It's great.
I typed in Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler last night, just trying to like find like a still of the photo. There are so many videos out there of those knockouts, and they are great. And eventually,
I can't stand Ferguson too, so that's great.
Oh, it's awesome. And eventually, the UFC just gives up. The UFC will like try to hide the footage for like 6 months, and then eventually they'll like give it to Fox or ESPN. Just like, who cares? It's on everybody's phone. We'll just play it at this point.
Right, we'll take the pub.
Oh, Ryan McCarthy wants to clarify something. ESPN originally had Bruins, Hurricanes, and King Oilers. Lightning, Maple Leafs would be on TNT. Thank you for that, Ryan.
Yeah, nerd. Freaking nerd.
AEW's not on TNT tonight.
Oh, no. What else you got here?
I had one from, I want to make sure I get this one on Twitter.
I got this one for Jim.
Okay,
it's Levack and Goz, a special guest Godzina at the next Albany Empire pregame show. So will Godzina make her appearance on the show?
No. We will probably do the same thing we did on last Saturday, where we'll have Levack for as long as he can stay, and then a few interviews, and then you'll be on your way. Because you got to go to the block party. Didn't you say you wanted to go to the block party this week and just show up? And
yeah, I'm gonna get out there because I saw our friends from the Predators. They can't do the block party. They do a bar down the road called Harry Buffalo, and the owner Nate and the GM Casey go and have a beer with everybody right before the game starts, which is kind of cool. I'm hoping I have time to do that. I'd love to sneak out to the block party, hop up on stage with Big Sky Country and just say, "Hey, everybody, go inside now. Buy tickets if you don't have them and drink."
I feel like I'm confusing Section 2 athletes with this one, and Sienna Soup, who we used to hear a ton about during basketball seasons, decided to hop in and give his take on this. With Sienna Soup wrote in, I had the misfortune of trying to keep up with Miles Joseph in a Section 2 playoff game back in high school. Guy was the fastest person I've ever had to play against in any sport ever. Now, wait, there's a Miles Joseph and a Garth Joseph? Are they even related? Are they in the same family? Because I know you've had a run-in with a Garth Joseph. I don't know if that's the same sibling or whatnot.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. They could be, they could not be. I don't know.
Garth Joseph, for those who don't know that reference, was a 7-footer from the Capital Region.
Yeah,
he played
at
D2,
St. Rose,
the College of St. Rose.
And no, just St. Rose. And yeah, no, that wasn't my finest moment. Hey, Ryan McCarthy, he wants to know Godzilla Media road trip to the Little League World Series? Huh?
Maybe, probably not.
Suck. Jim wants to point out the women of Omaha have corn-fed beefcakes. Not sure where to go with that.
Matt Verderam must have heard us talking about his schedule thing. He wrote a tradition unlike any other. I mean, Matt, stop doing it then, man. That seems like a bear to take on every game in the NFL from week 1 to week 8. He loves doing it.
Nobody works harder than Verderam. It's a known thing. All right, I'm done.
Right,
I'm done with this crap.
We're done.
How dare you?
Go to a dirty 30 party. I'll see you on Tuesday.
All right, enjoy rolling around in the bed you were made.
Oh, wait a second. Hang on. Are we announcing something next week involving a certain cool event coming up here for Godzilla Media and the Albany Empire? Are we holding off on that announcement?
Yeah, we should be able to announce that. I've got to tell a couple of the guys that it's greenlit, okay. But it could be very fun, and it could be a big prize for one of our fans of the Albany Empire.
Ooh, I'd like to end it on a tease there. That's good.
Yeah,
Usually we end it
yeah.
on advice. You want to end on the tease? You still want to give advice here on a wonderful Saturday?
No, I have advice. I always have advice. If you're going to buy a crappy old house and not know how to fix it, make sure your buddy owns Fitzgerald Handyman Service. His name is Zach, and he's sitting on the couch patiently waiting to fix my house. So make sure you make friends with guys like that. And guys, get the hell out of your parents' bedroom, you freaking weirdo.